was under soil and building the soil. Let's get into planting now. And guys, remember, I'm not here to convince you how to plant your food. I'm just telling you how I do it, and I show the result as well. It doesn't matter what I plant. It really doesn't matter what I plant. I always plant them deep. It doesn't matter what I plant. I always plant them deep. There's a lot of benefit of planting your garden, your plants deep. There's a lot of benefit planting your plants deep. I personally, I planted my plants them at least 12 inches deep. At least 12 inches deep. And I get great result from them. So I only could tell you that. So it's up to you to try and see if it works for you. Hello, the new Arlene Gardner. How you doing? Thank you for being here. What I've learned over the years, just think for a moment. Yeah, sorry for that, guys. For my experience, for what I experience growing food, okay? What I have experienced growing food is the deeper you plant your food, the more mineral, the more nutrients the plant's gonna get, the more deeper you plant. If you plant them too much on top of the soil, especially when you only get in hot sun, when the sun is really penetrating, what's gonna happen is the sun dries out a lot of minerals in that area. But down inside there, what happens is the sun does not get down there. So the root, even the sun is hot, burning hot, the roots still have moisture to feed from. So it's very important. The next thing why I recommend growing your garden deep, planting your plants deep. I grow pepper tree. My pepper trees, some of them grow 7 feet tall. Some of my pepper trees grow 7 feet tall, some 5 feet, some 6 feet, some 4 feet. Not much go under that. Most of my pepper trees from 4 feet up to 7 feet, right? Could you imagine if you plant that pepper 5 inches deep? Could you imagine what's going to happen there? Could you just imagine for a moment what's going to happen if your pepper tree is 5 inches deep and it's 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall, loaded with peppers? What's going to happen? The weight going to pull that tree down to the ground. The root ain't grounded enough down into the soil to keep this tree up and going. So this is another example why you should plant your plants them deep. Your okra should be planted deep. Your tomato should be planted deep. All your fruit trees should plant deep. Your whatever you plant, you should plant deep. Your cabbage, if you plant them deep, better production. The next thing again, less water. The deeper you plant, less water you have to use. So there's a lot of benefit in planting your plants deep. Lots of benefit, guys. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of benefit in planting deep. I'm not here to tell you plant deep, but at least you should try. Try one or two plant and see the result for yourself. Okay? All right, Fifi. Yes, all right. So you had that experience. Yeah, this is facts right here. If you grow in pepper tree a certain height, they will fall down because the root is not grounded. Your plant root, and many plants operate like that. The root supposed to be grounded. The root grounded in the soil, you stand a better chance of them producing a lot more, grow bigger, grow taller, and very successful. I'm talking from my experience. Maybe it might help someone. All right? Yes, we should say. Yes, guys. So when you're talking about planting, I will plant everything deep. I plant even my onions deep. I plant my garlic deep. I plant my ginger deep. I plant everything I plant deep. And it works really well for me. So all I'm saying is you guys could try it if you like. But what I'm going to say to you guys, if you are a gardener, if you are a gardener, especially a new gardener who trying to learn, figure out what kind of gardening you want to do. Figure that out. That's your first decision. Are you trying to go organic gardening? Are you trying to grow a garden using anything? You got to figure that out. You don't want to get mixed up. You have to figure that out. And you got to focus on doing that. Before I start my garden, that garden, I sit down and I think out the whole thing. And I was thinking in long term. I wasn't thinking in just a few years, you know, or 2, 3 years. I was thinking about years ahead. And when I look at my soil was red clay, actually red clay. And I sit down and I say, no, I'm not using no chemical in this thing. I don't want, and I don't want to hear nothing nobody got to say about any chemical. I take my mind off of that. And I said, I'm going to use what nature use and turn around this soil. And I did turn around the soil that if I dig 16 inches down, I still would not see clay. Yeah, and I still would not see clay. But guess what? It will not happen overnight, guys. Patient, discipline, and it will take you there. You don't want to build a garden and in a few years you got to start over. But I will go back to say, use what you have, do whatever you can, because at the end of the day, you still got to grow something to eat. But over the years while growing it, you should try to are things that you know make sense to you. You have a backyard, try to make your own little compost pile in your backyard if you can. I know a lot of people cannot do that because some people in apartment, in balcony, so it's difficult. But if you have a space in your backyard where you have leaf, where you have chilling that drop, fall, you could pick them up and just put them in a pile and just leave them there. Nature will break them down for you. You don't need to add meat. You don't need to add all these things to break down compost. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen big tree trunk break down in no time. From the worms and all the bugs and all these things that nature provides, break it down without adding any form of chemical to it. Any meat, any whatever. But I'm not here to tell you not to use your meat. I'm just here to tell you there's things that can work without using certain things. Okay? I have created a soil that's real. Anything I chuck in that soil, it grow. But guys, it did not start overnight. It really did not start overnight. It didn't happen overnight. It take a while. But patience, discipline, and focus help get me there. I refuse to, I don't care what nobody say. I don't want to hear because nobody here could tell me what's in these battles. Unless you ain't make it for yourself, you cannot tell me what's in them. So I'm not interested in even hearing about these products. I see what these things did to a guy garden. I was warning him, I said, start there, you use natural product. When these things done with the soil, you know what happened? It was like sand. It turned his soil into sand. And you know what he had was to do? He had was to start all over from scratch. All over from scratch. So my thing is, instead of waste 3-4 years, why you don't start from scratch? I start from clay soil. Clay, red clay. But because of discipline and focus, it helped me to stay away from a lot of these products. If you didn't make it, you cannot recommend it to me. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. Okay? I've seen with my own eyes what these things do to garden. And I refuse to use them. We use things and we spray our plants. These things eliminate butterfly, bees, and if you guys know how important bees and butterfly and birds are, and these things that we spraying is getting rid of them. I create my garden that the birds can feed off the bugs. So by the birds feeding off the bugs, it eliminates all these bugs up in my garden. So it saved me from running and buying sprays. You got to connect yourself with nature and watch how nature works. See how nature operates. And walk with nature. You can't walk against nature because you're going to run into a stone wall, a brick wall, because you're fighting against the natural. You're fighting against nature, trying to create something around, it ain't gonna work. You will always run into brick wall. Try do it natural. Try to work out different remedies. Try to compost. You want to make composting? You ain't got to buy composting. You could make your own composting. There's a lot of weeds in your garden. Dandelion. Dandelion. That's composting. Elderberry. That's composting. A lot of grass in your garden that you pull out, composting. You can make your own compost. It's very simple. Okay? Look into these things and it will save you a lot of money at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you also using natural product. All right? Thank you, Fifi Johnny. Thank you. Let the garden feed the garden if you can. Definitely. Definitely. Hello, the everyday life of an OC district. I'm fishing in up here in the garden of here. All right, all right. Thank you. I never introduce anything to my garden. If I don't grow it, it's not growing in my garden. All these things, if you did not make the product, I want to hear about it. I'm sorry. Because we out here promoting this product that we knows nothing about. We didn't make them. We didn't see them. We didn't, but we promoting them. If you notice, I don't promote anything. The only thing I promote is leaf, grass clipping, and rotten tree trunk. That's what I promote. We want, especially the new gardeners. We want the new gardeners who now coming in to learn to make soil in case you can't go to the store and buy soil. We want them to learn to make their own soil. We want them to learn to make their own compost. We want them to learn these natural stuff instead of introducing them to this product that we have no idea about, that we don't know. Oh, organic, yeah, organic. Oh, 75% organic. What is the other 15%? What is it, the other 15%? We don't know. So this is what I'm talking about. There's new gardeners coming out here. If you want to use your chemical, please do. That's your decision. But when come on the new gardeners, let's guide them. Let me ask them, what kind of food you trying to plant? Are you trying to grow some organic food? Or we're trying to grow whatever anything? If you did not make the product, you can't tell me it's organic. I'm sorry. It's only organic if everything inside of it is organic, natural. Well, all these other things that mix defeat the purpose. Yes, it might shoot up your plants them big. Yeah, just like the animals. You could shoot them up big in 3 weeks, but what did you feed them with? Right? It's the same thing with the plants. We could shoot them up big in 3 weeks, but what did we feed them with? There's no shortcut in gardening. You want to be successful gardener, you want to know the ins and outs, then you got to put in the work for that. And I'm going to say again, guys, sometimes in your backyard have great soil. And don't ever believe you cannot grow food in clay soil. You can. But over the years, you keep adding your leaf and in the winter, you make sure you prep, get your soil together in the winter, and then get it prepared for the spring. Over certain years, that soil, that clay soil gonna start changing. Patient